Chris, good morning. Minneapolis police say officers were doing a wellness check when they discovered a man was dead with obvious signs of trauma. He was living in Minnehaha Park. We don't know exactly how he died. The medical examiner will reveal that, but the city already planned to evict residents here because of safety concerns, including crime and cold weather. A notice dated Thursday, the 31st of December, told them to vacate within 72 hours, but police say that eviction is muddying their death investigation.
Numerous individuals in the encampment thought that those squads were arriving to assist in the eviction process, and so they fled on foot. We believe that there are witnesses to what may have happened or transpired, so we are asking people to please contact our homicide unit.
Since the pandemic began, the city of Minneapolis has experienced unprecedented growth in homeless encampments. Back in October, the city announced that it would add at least 7 emergency shelters and begin opening or building 670 affordable housing units.
Kaya Edwards live in Minneapolis this morning. Thank you, Kaya.